Hello, everybody! I'm back, Mr. McSquare. Episode number 14. 14 episodes of the Hidden Crater here. And this is organic Minecraft, where we don't use any mods. So, the starting base is actually coming along nicely. Every day is adding on, progressing forward. And so, I've got to revisit just a couple things and tweak them a bit. You know, small alterations to make life easier. My bees. Man, every time I open up these doors, there's a chance that the bees fly out. So, just to make life a little easier, I made a tunnel out the backside. And then I can take the bottles that I have in my hand. And I've got access to the beehives. And then I can just run along here, fill up all my bottles, and not have to mess with bees getting in and out of the bee sanctuary area. There we go. It's that easy. And of course, the tunnel runs around to both sides of the apiary farm area. Empty beehives, happy bees, no problems. Okay, this is the Minecraft wiki. And an endless source of all information in Minecraft. And right now I'm looking up fire potion ingredients. Correction, fire resistance potion ingredients. Because I'm doing a little bit of construction in the nether. And part of that is requiring me to go down into the lava and do some building. So over to the handy dandy area where I've got nether wart growing. And I'm going to have to make a dedicated potion area later, but for now I can just duck into my experience point machine and use the brewing setup that I got there. So having looked up the ingredients, basically magma cream is the key point, and get some water going. Fuel. Got everything I need just sitting in this room, so might as well use it, including my endless water supply. And I'm not gonna bore you watching me brew a potion, but anyway, you get the point that I've got everything here, so I might as well make the fire potions there. And then go to the nether, drink my fire resistance, good for 8 minutes because we extended it with just a little bit of redstone dust. Anyway, all that information's on the Minecraft wiki. And now, because I got fire resistance, I can actually jump in the lava, look around, and build. Okay, so essentially I just want to build a stairwell that's in the nether here, and it's happens to be over the lava lake, so the fire resistance is just making all that doable. Okay, glass up the sides. Took way more glass than anticipated. I didn't want to use glass planes. I specifically wanted to use glass blocks. And it's a work in progress. And eventually we'll finish that sucker off. But for now you get a concept of what's going on. We're just glass walled tower with a stairwell. And that's just to go up and down the nether from the bottom, where the nether portal is, up to the roof where there will be some other stuff in the future. And of course, you can see in the distance I make enclosed tunnel passages to go to different areas in the nether, like nether fortresses or blackstone fortresses, to harvest all the wonderful nether resources. Okay. So, speaking of nether fortresses, I've managed to collect some wither skeleton heads here. 19 of them, divide by 3 is 6 with 1 left over. I got enough for 6 beacons. It's time to put some beacons into the base. That just makes life easier. Okay. There's 5 different beacon effects. 6 if you want to count that there's a regeneration effect. And to get that, we're going to need soul soil, 4 soul soil, and 3 heads per wither fight. Okay, that'll be 24 and 18. There we go. So we got the resources we need to fight the Wither 6 times. And next we'll have to find a suitable location because the Wither's pretty destructive. We don't want him to blow up the whole bloody base. Because he'll do it. He'll do it. So we go to the middle of nowhere. And I specifically want to fight him over the water. Because in Bedrock, he's quite a bit tougher than the Java version. And the game keeps tweaking the Wither's powers. For quite a while he didn't even have his Wither ability because I don't know why. I think it was because it's overpowered and they were playing with it. But sadly it's back. Well, not sadly. Challenges are good for us. Challenges keep the game interesting. So I'll put a link below for other Wither fights I've done in the past. And this will just be the highly abbreviated version, which is in a boat. I can look left and keep the boat moving, so I can shoot and move. And just like the old classic video game Space Invaders, he's gonna fire where I used to be and not where I'm going to be. And that keeping moving is what's gonna keep me safe. See, he's firing behind me, he's firing behind me, he's firing where I used to be, not firing where I'm going to be. And then eventually, after shooting many arrows later, we can get him down to his second phase. His first half of health, you can damage him with ranged weapons. Just keep moving, keep shooting. You'll get a feel for your accuracy will improve with practice. I'm a little bit rusty. It's been a while since I did this. And as you can see, we can hit him and we can hit him. And it just takes time and patience and repetition. And a little bit of stubbornness doesn't hurt either. And then you can see that my trident's got the Riptide enchantment on it. Because in the second phase, ranged weapons won't damage them. But a trident, you're physically moving... Well, a trident with Riptide, sorry. You're physically moving with the weapon. So you're not hitting them with a ranged weapon. You are the weapon, and you're going to fly into them. But it only works on water. So again, we're down in the water, and once we get them, we'll just switch to hitting them with a trident over and over again. And tridents do a good amount of damage. Even more if I had impaling on this sucker, but I'll admit I'm a little overconfident because I've done this too many times. Okay. So once we get him to phase 2, go over to the trident mode. Oh, and you can see he's withered me. They have fixed the wither. He's back to how he used to be, which is much more dangerous. For a while they took away his withering ability because it lasts so long and it's pretty bad. And not knowing that, I didn't bring any milk buckets to get rid of the wither effect, so I'm gonna die a few times. And that's okay, because I'm just after the wither star anyway. When he dies, he'll drop the wither star, and the wither star itself is basically indestructible. There. He's in phase 2. Blows up, and then we can carry on. While that wither lasts forever. Now, again, there's a link below for an actual wither fight. And we're just going to get to the key points of what happened. Now, not knowing that they altered him, he's got the wither effect. Yeah. I think I died twice, maybe 3 times to beat him, which is fine. However, once he actually died, he killed me when he died. So, like, there he is. You can see he's got a scratch of life left. And then I die, and you can hear that he's blowing up. See? He's flashing, and he blows up. Now, I'm not certain, but I think what happened is that I died and dropped all my equipment, and then when he blew up, all my gear's gone. All of it. Everything I came in with, And thank goodness I put half my tools into a chest before the start of the fight. But yeah, all my netherite armor and weapons, my bow, my trident, yep, that's gone. That is gone. And I play an honest game, and it's on a realm, which means I can't save and reload a save game. No, that's done. That's the way she rolled. There's no save backup. I'd have to reroll the whole realm. It'd be dishonest. And yeah, it sucks. But hey, that's why I've got a starting base. Yeah, you can see I lost all my gear. I've got my tools. I got my axe, a couple pickaxes, and a shovel. But it's time to re-gear. What's stopping me from losing my mind about that right now? Because, like, yeah, it's lost a whole netherite set and my enchanted weapons. But I've got my nether star, and I have a starting base. The whole point of having a starting base, the whole point of this, is that when accidents happen, you can recover. You can see I don't have any of the super powerful stuff. It's sad, but that's the way she rolled. Now, fortunately, starting base. I have all the materials I need. We'll just grab some food. Gonna need some arrows again. We got all the components we need in the appropriate storage boxes. It's recoverable. It doesn't mean it's not sad, but it's recoverable, and that's the way she rolls. However, I don't want to do that again. So, do a little bit of internet research. You can see I don't have my netherite gear anymore. I do have some gear, but it's not the same. It's not. So it's time to make an area to kill the wither without dying. And I've shown that I can do it, but I just come down to the bottom of the world, and I'll put a link to someone else's YouTube channel that discusses what you need. And it's basically, you got to put them down in the bedrock and let them suffocate. So, following those instructions, and because it's a realm, it's going to be a live test. I'm not gonna. I did not load up a creative world or a clone of the world or anything. Nope, we're just gonna test it live, and if it works, it works, and if it doesn't, it's gonna be painful. So, dig out all the bedrock and look for an appropriate place. The short version is, for this world seed, 74-4. That's where this sand column is, 74-4. And then some of the wither, and put them. He'll spawn off in the, or over in that little dugout there. I'm a little too close, and he blows up a couple times, and he can damage you with blowing up. So stay a safe distance. But essentially, he's gonna suffocate in the rock. And after a while, he's out of life. Oop. Like I said, a little too close. And, yeah. I can just rinse and repeat without actually fighting them. I've shown that I can fight them, but I don't feel like re-gearing that many times. Plus the time involved. Once I found the appropriate spot, 74-4 for this world, I can just basically have a beacon farm. I won't call it a wither farm. I'll call it a beacon farm, because you got to go collect the wither skulls and a bit of soil. But that's it. So now I've got a lovely place to generate beacons without losing my mind. Repeating that fight, which was painful. The painful part was losing all my gear. Didn't like that. And so we'll beacon it up. You can see there's 5 different powers, plus resistance off on the side as a secondary power. And because I've got 6, I'm going to put 5 beacons here. Jump boost, I don't really care if I have it all maxed out, so I'll have half a jump boost and the resistance. So you can see the 5 buff icons off on the right. The 5 beacons are turned on. And again, Minecraft Wiki is the best source for any of your very specific questions about what the heck are the different effects and the size of your beacon and how many blocks you need underneath it and what kind of blocks. I have an iron farm, so I use iron for a lot of my components. Like there's over 100 blocks of iron underneath the beacons to make the beacons work. Good thing I got an iron farm. Okay, so you can see the beacons are up above. And their beams go up through the glass. That's my half black, half white skull face in the glass. And you can see 3 of the beams are going through the black side and 2 of the beams going through the white side. And you'll be able to see that from quite a distance, which is a beacon to the realm. And then, well, if we got a chamber down here, we got to dress it up and make it look pretty, because all that deep slate, it was ugly. So we're down here where I've got my portal, and I just elevate the portal a little bit because it looked better. You can see all the iron that I used. While I was at it, I added a little side chamber because, man, there's a lot of cobblestone and a lot of trips with cobblestone. So I just made a storeroom for frickin' deep slate cobblestone. Okay, and then this is my killing area. That was all exposed bedrock not so long ago. And we just dressed it up. Gave it some columns and some lighting. Okay, that's 74-4. Next time I summon him, he'll suffocate here and he'll blow up and destroy part of this. And then I won't fix the destroyed part anymore. I will, I don't know, make it like a little bit of a underground cult room or something for destroying the Wither. I don't know. But for now, we've got a chamber and it's all lit up. And again, I used Mr. Lightning FNC's trick of partial blocks behind, well, light sources behind partial blocks, because it doesn't block. So the light emits through. If I used solid blocks, the illumination radius wouldn't work. But because those are stairs, that's only 3/4 of a block, the light still works. So while this room looks like it's got 4 light sources in the middle, it's actually got a bunch of torches along the walls and in key spots. They're just hidden behind partial slabs. There's the old jack-o'-lantern and oak trapdoor lantern theme that I like to use. And just overall, it's got a very nice illuminated picture to it. And we'll have to dress this up in the future for our Wither killing chamber. Similarly, this is the Nether, and there's going to be a beacon set up at the Nether as well. Just like 0-0 in the overworld, we got 0-0 in the Nether with a pyramid of iron blocks and beacons on top. Now I'm out of beacons, so I'll have to add more in the future, and you can see I've got spots for them up there. And okay, and then these structures here, they're eventually going to be giant villager statues, and in the center of each I'll have a little portal and a nether storage room, netherrack storage room, because digging in the nether you're going to generate a whole lot of netherrack. You got to put it somewhere. Don't want to waste it, you might need it. So I hid the storerooms in the bottom of the statues behind the doors. So you don't even see them, but there'll be a storeroom back there, and each one will have some kind of a function behind each one. Haven't decided all of them yet. If you have any ideas, go ahead and put it in the comments. There could be even some room for some farms in there, or who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Limits are only our imagination. Wow. That's my beacons and tweaks for this week's episode. Thanks again for joining me. I appreciate you all, and go ahead and hit those buttons and share it with your friends. Till next time, bye-bye.